Do you know how you have a great idea the night before and the next morning you end up in the Lake District? Welcome to Derwent Water. Alright, so for this first photograph, it's such a still morning. I really want to do something with the lake behind me. It's almost like glass. There is no movement and there is no wind. So the idea is using Dave's Canon 6D and my 50mm f1.8 just to get the island behind me, which I believe is called Derwent Isle, just as a slip of land through the middle of the frame with the reflection of the water behind and a little bit of a sunrise kicking off in the background. So let's get some camera settings dialed in and we'll take the first photograph. So I've got the camera set up now. We're at f8. 15 seconds, ISO 200. You'll be able to see just off in the distance on the hill behind me, there's this awesome patch of fog just blowing off it, and we've got the sunrise kicking off behind, so I'm thinking this long exposure is really going to work. So let's go ahead, we'll take this first photograph. If the camera will focus. It has. 2-second timer, here's the first one. Right, so for this next photograph, you'll see there's a white rock there. So I've turned the camera in the vertical orientation. I've thrown my 28mm Clubman lens on, and I think we're going to do something with that rock. Now, I'm not too sure if this needs a polarizer or not, so I'm going to take two photographs, one with a polarizer and one without. Let's see how it turns out. So this is the first one without the polarizing filter. So, 4 seconds, ISO 100 and f9. I'm going to take this photograph, then we're going to put the polarizer on and see if we can't cut through some of the glare on the water, see through to the bottom of the lake and just see how it looks. It needs a polarizer. Right, so do you know how sometimes with this stuff you can't really control nature? Why are these geese there, right in the middle of the photograph? So we've thrown the polarizing filter on now, so now we have to wait for the geese to move on before we can do this, and all the time the light's getting stronger and the settings are changing, so fun and games. But yeah, right in the middle, see this rock down here? That's the one we're trying to take a photograph of. Ducks, by me. So please excuse my goose friend, but we finally done it. We've got the polarizer on, the goose has moved, it's time to take a photograph now. I have a feeling the settings might have changed because it's taking its time. I think 4 seconds might be a little bit too much now, so let's zip this down. We'll try 2.5 seconds, see how this looks, and we'll retake it if needs be. A lot of geese around. That actually looks fine. Press the play button. Yeah, I think the polarised version works, so here's that one. So you can see way off in the distance over there in them hills, you see all this mist and the fog rolling through. We've got the oranges and the pinks just catching the light in the sky. It's also been reflected in the lake down here, and that's what I'm trying to achieve with this Cosina on 135. Now, it's been such a long time since I've actually used this lens. I'm trying to remember how to do it. I've not shot this long for such a long time. I've also not shot full frame for such a long time. You see, I'm kind of between lens manufacturers at the moment. I sent a lot of Micro Four Third stuff off to come back with some Sony stuff. It's not gone to plan. I'll fill you in on that in just a little while, but let's get this photograph taken. Now the light is really starting to catch. So this is my mate. He's got a bit of a limp, bless him. He's definitely hanging around. He can be the mascot for the day, I think. So I spun the camera around 180 degrees and these peaks behind me are just catching a little bit of the morning light. So I'm using this grass bank behind me. I'm going to try and make some sort of fake panorama here using the 50mm lens. So I'm sticking the grass bank and the peaks and right in the bottom were the first point, and the rest of it's going to be sky, and I'm probably going to throw a 16:9 or a 16:10 crop on this. So let's look at some camera settings and take a photo. So f11, a fifth of a second, ISO 200. Let's go. So like I said a little while ago, I've sent some micro four thirds gear off to mpb.com, and around a week ago an A7R turned up, which was not in the condition that MPB said it was in. So the next day I sent that camera back, and I'm still waiting for the replacement to arrive. It's getting a little bit on the frustrating side now, which is why we're actually out using David Flower's Canon 6D with a hodgepodge of different lenses just to take some photos with. It's been a little while since I've been out, so it's starting to get a little bit frustrating at this point. MPB used to be a really good company to deal with, but my last few dealings with them have gone a little bit downhill in my opinion. Maybe we'll try Wex next time, but oh man, it is so cold now. But all that fog and everything over the other side of the lake, it looks really, really phenomenal, but I'm kind of at a loss with what to do with it now. I've taken all the shots that I'm thinking of, and I just don't want to start peppering the same photograph over and over again. So it may be time, let's go for a little wander and see if we can find a new angle on this lake. So just across the lake here, there is a mountainside with all this fog rolling across, and it's catching the light really nicely. See, the light is coming from behind me, just off to my left-hand side, and it's glinting across all the fog rolling across the mountain. It looks really awesome, so we're going for a nice punched-in shot with the 135. So we're at f8, ISO 100, the 200th of a second. That's hopefully going to get everything nice and sharp and really catch this pocket of light right in the middle of the fog. So this has been one of those mornings where I really wish I had a longer lens. This 135, it served me well so far, but something like a 7200 would have really come into its own in these conditions. I'd have been able to get up and close and personal with the mountains and get the details and the fog and everything rolling through them. But, well, it is what it is. But it's been a great morning so far. It's a fantastic place to come, this. It really puts into perspective just how flat the area in which I live. It really, really is. It's a very, very pretty place to spend the sunrise and spend the morning. Especially the conditions, we've had some colour, got some fog rolling across. It's been a great morning so far. I'm just hoping there are a couple more photos to have. Like I say, it's not somewhere I often come. It's a bit of a drive out for me. I want to make the most of it while I'm here.